Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our news channel. Today, we will dive into two very important and thought provoking stories that are making headlines around the world. These stories not only highlight the challenges that affect people's lives, but also teach us about global issues such as climate change, technology, and misinformation. So, let's begin with the first story that we have. Behind LA fires, heat, no rain, Santa Ana. Well, students, wildfires are one of nature's most destructive forces. And right now, Southern California, particularly the Los Angeles area, is facing a massive wildfire crisis. These fires have killed at least 10 people and forced more than 2 lakh residents to leave their homes. Thousands of acres of land, homes, and streets have been completely destroyed. But what's causing these fires and why are they so intense? So let's explore. First of all, what are wildfires? Yes, what are wildfires? Wildfire होते क्या है? Wildfires are basically uncontrolled fire that spread rapidly across large areas of land. They often start in forests, grasslands, or dry areas. And these fires, basically, it can be triggered by, by many causes. Natural cause would include lightning, or even it can be caused by human activities such as discarded cigarettes, campfires, or even faulty electrical lines. So in Los Angeles, the current wildfires are primarily fueled by something called Santa Ana winds. These winds are strong, dry, that blow from the inland deserts of California towards the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so they blow from the Southern California towards the Pacific Ocean. And as wind comes down the mountain, it compresses and it heats up, right? First of all, we need to understand why these winds are actually important. See, Santa Ana winds form when there is high pressure over an area called the Great Basin. Okay, these winds blow when high pressure builds over the Great Basin. Great Basin is what? A region between the Rocky Mountains and the Sierra Nevada. So that is why it is important for you to keep a copy of map along with you, because we will be dealing with some geographical region. So when the high pressure area rushes towards the low pressure areas on the California coast, it creates very strong winds. And as these winds travel down the mountains, they get compressed, heat up, and become extremely dry. Yes, now imagine these dry winds blowing through the forests that are already parched from months of no rain. इतने टाइम से बारिश भी नहीं हुई है, ऊपर से ड्राई winds चल रही हैं. So the winds dry out vegetation even further. तो जो ड्राई विंड है वो क्या करती है, जो वेजिटेशन है उसको और फर्दर ड्राई कर देती है. सो इट टर्न ट्रीज, ग्रास एंड shrubs into fuel फॉर वायर्स. कभी आपने देखा होगा कि जो सूखी लकड़ियां होती हैं या फिर सूखी घास होती है उसमें इजीली फायर लग जाती है, राइट? तो बेसिकली जब ये विंड इतना उसको ड्राई कर देती है, तो जो ट्रीज है, ग्रास है, shrubs है, it turns into fuel for fires. And this is why Santa Ana winds are infamous for worsening wildfires. Now, how bad are the fires right now? अभी क्या हालात है इसके बारे में समझते हैं. See, अभी 5 massive fires are raging across the Los Angeles area. एक तो सबसे ज़्यादा जहाँ पर देखने को मिल रहा है वो है Palisades फायर, द लार्जेस्ट, एंड इट had destroyed more than 70,000 acres of land, and it's only 6% contained. मतलब अभी तक सिर्फ इसका 6% ही contain किया गया है. And then we have Eden fire. Eden fire कहाँ पर चल रहा है? सेंट गेब्रियल माउंटेन्स में चल रहा है. That has already destroyed 10,000 acres and isn't contained at all. फिर उसके बाद हर्स्ट फायर है, लिडिया फायर है, एंड वन इन वेस्ट हिल्स. दे हैव बर्न्ड हंड्रेड्स ऑफ एकर्स बट आर स्टिल स्प्रेडिंग. तो आप देख लो कितना ज्यादा इसका इम्पैक्ट है, कितना ज्यादा एरिया जल चुका है. और आप ये देखिए कि अगर वाइल्ड फायर लगी है तो उसके साथ साथ सिर्फ ह्यूमंस को ही नहीं नुकसान हो रहा है. इवन एनिमल्स, फ्लोरा एंड फौना, दे आर ऑल्सो गेटिंग डिस्ट्रॉयड. Now, what about climate change? Role of climate change. See, here's where it gets even more concerning. Experts say that climate change is making wildfires worse, and California has experienced some of its hottest months ever recorded, and the region has had little to no rain since July 2024. So this is the second driest period in 150 years. And see what happens? Warmer temperatures, it dry out forests faster. And when dry seasons last longer, they create the perfect conditions for wildfires. And studies show that California now has twice as many fire weather days as it did in the 1970s. Right? So this means days when conditions like heat, wind, and dryness make wildfires more likely to occur now. क्यों? क्लाइमेट चेंज की वजह से वेजिटेशन है और ज्यादा ड्राई हो जा रही है, रेनफॉल कम हो रही है, तो और फैक्टर्स जिसकी वजह से वाइल्ड फायर होने के ज्यादा चांसेस हैं वो इंक्रीज हो रहे हैं. What can we learn? Wildfires in California remind us how important it is to take care of our planet. So, if we are going to reduce our activities that can actually contribute to climate change, जैसे burning fossil fuels, protecting our forest, we can जो फॉसिल फ्यूल का हमें ऑल्टरनेटिव्स जैसे रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी है उसको अगर हम देखेंगे, एंड इफ यू आर प्रोटेक्टिंग अ फॉरेस्ट, वी कैन एक्चुअली हेल्प रिड्यूस द रिस्क ऑफ सच डिजास्टर इन फ्यूचर. All right, students, now let's move to our second story. It's about a major change in the social media, like basically how the social media platforms handle misinformation. So, Meta, the company behind Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, recently announced that it will stop using external fact checkers to flag fake news. Instead, it will rely on a system called community notes. But what does this mean? And why is it important? Let's find out. First of all, what is fake news? See, fake news refers, I think it's pretty much clear what fake news is. It refers to false or misleading information presented as if it were true. So this kind of misinformation can cause confusion, it can spread rumors, and even influence important events like elections. Right? अब पहले क्या होता था कि 9 साल पहले, 9 years ago, Meta started using external external fact checkers to identify and reduce the spread of fake news. But these fact checkers were experts certified by the International Fact Checking Network. So what they used to do, वो सबसे पहले केयरफुली कोई भी कंटेंट होता उसको रिव्यू करते थे. They consult sources and then they decide if a post was false. And if it was, Meta would make it less visible to users. But recently, Meta has now changed the track. Meta decided to stop this approach. Why? Because the company says that relying on fact checkers isn't perfect, because even experts can have biases. For example, they might disagree about what to fact check or how to do it. है ना? तो इसीलिए उन्होंने कहा कि अब ये वाला अप्रोच छोड़ के हम दूसरा अप्रोच अडॉप्ट करेंगे, विच इज कॉल्ड रेफरिंग टू कम्युनिटी नोट्स. नाउ व्हाट आर कम्युनिटी नोट्स? Community notes are it's a, you know, how the basically the क्या क्या किया जाता है. सबसे पहले तो कम्युनिटी नोट्स, इट वाज फर्स्ट पायलटेड एज अ प्रोग्राम कॉल्ड बर्ड वॉच बाय ट्विटर इन 2021. 2021 में ये पहले किया था, बिफोर इवन इलॉन मस्क ने ट्विटर खरीदा था, और जब उन्होंने प्लेटफॉर्म को रीनेम कर दिया, तो उससे पहले एक कम्युनिटी नोट्स वाज पायलटेड, एक पायलट प्रोग्राम की तरह यूज किया गया था, right? So Meta will use a system similar to community notes. And how it actually works. So first of all, regular users can add facts or context to post they see online, and these notes will only appear if enough people agree they are helpful. All right. So सबसे पहले तो क्राउड सोर्सिंग होगी इनपुट की. Regular users, they're gonna add facts or context to post they are seeing online, and then there will be voting. Like, these notes will only appear if enough people agree they are helpful. And then, for the transparency, all contributions will be public, so anyone can download the data and review it. Yes. ठीक है, तो कोई भी डाउनलोड करेगा डेटा और उसको रिव्यू कर सकता है. तो अगर और फेयरनेस बढ़ानी है, उसके लिए क्या किया जाएगा? सी, मेटा प्लान्स टू यूज एल्गोरिदम्स टू इंक्लूड diverse perspectives in deciding which notes are shown. Okay. But of course, there will be some challenges of community notes. Although this whole system sounds democratic and right, that it will be fair for everyone to basically propose their plan and their viewpoints. They can add their viewpoints to whatever they are seeing online, but it's not without problems. See, critics are worried that group of people, they could actually manipulate the system to push their own views. For example, a group with a political agenda might vote together to promote or hide certain notes. Also, community notes might not capture the complexity of fact checking sensitive topics like political views, right? तो अगर कोई political view जैसे बहुत सेंसिटिव टॉपिक हो जाता है, कई बार इस पे लड़ाइयाँ भी हो जाती हैं, तो कम्युनिटी नोट ऐसे कॉम्प्लेक्स टॉपिक को फैक्ट चेक प्रॉपरली नहीं कर सकती है, क्योंकि सबके अलग व्यू पॉइंट होंगे, राइट? और क्या पता से एक सर्टेन ग्रुप सिर्फ अपना पॉलिटिकल व्यू पॉइंट पुश करने के लिए मैनिपुलेट कर सकता है सिस्टम को, बिकॉज फैक्ट चेकिंग रिक्वायर्स डीप रिसर्च विच इजंट ऑलवेज पॉसिबल इन अ क्राउड सोर्स्ड सिस्टम, राइट? तो अभी देखना होगा कि आगे का कैसे चीजें होती हैं. बाकी मैं कि जब ये एक्चुअल में इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाएगा तो हाउ fruitful it will prove, right? That's what we have to see now. Now, students, the question is, why should we care? See, the way social media platforms handle misinformation, it affects everyone, and if fake news spreads unchecked, it can shape opinions and decisions unfairly. So, Meta's decision also raises questions about how we balance free speech with the responsibility to prevent harm. Right? Now, students, we are at the end of this podcast. So, for the conclusion, we know that uh, both of these stories, California's wildfire and Meta's new approach to misinformation, it shows us how interconnected our world is. So, whether it's the environment or the information we consume, our actions have consequences. So, as a student, we have the power to make a difference. And how are we going to do that? By staying informed, questioning what we see online, and making choices that protect our planet. And by doing that, we can create a better future. So, thank you for listening. Stay curious and keep learning.